before there were nations, before the word power even existed, there was a storm. And at the center of that storm stood one being, Zeus, the god who ruled the skies, and yet could never truly master himself. Every thunderbolt he hurled was a mirror, reflecting the storms that still rage within us today. This isn't just mythology. This is psychology. It's the blueprint of how humans crave control, fall into ego, and learn, painfully, what it means to be divine. If you've ever wondered why we still worship fame, why power corrupts, why love and lust twist even the greatest of minds, you're about to learn that it all started here. The story of Zeus isn't just about gods and lightning. It's about you. So, before we dive into the storm, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because in this channel, we don't just tell stories. We uncover the truths that the gods left behind. Now, let's go back, before Olympus, before man, to the birth of rebellion itself. Acta, the rise of Zeus, rebellion in the cosmos, born in the belly of fear. Long before the name Zeus echoed through temples, there was only chaos, a world ruled by his father, Cronus, the titan of time. Cronus feared a prophecy, that one of his children would overthrow him. So, every time his wife Rhea gave birth, he swallowed the child whole. This is where fear becomes tyranny. How many leaders today, terrified of losing power, destroy the very future meant to continue their legacy? Cronus wasn't just a god, he was a symbol of every generation afraid to be replaced. But Rhea, desperate to save her last son, tricked Cronus. She wrapped a stone in cloth and handed it to him, and in secret, she hid her infant on the island of Crete. There, in a cave guarded by spirits and thunder, a baby cried. That baby would grow into the god who would defy fate. His name was Zeus. The first storm. Zeus grew up under the protection of the nymphs. He learned from the wild, the language of wind, and the patience of mountains. He saw how lightning split the sky, and felt something awaken inside him, the call to rise. As he became a man, he learned the truth of his father's cruelty. And with rage forged in silence, he planned his rebellion. He sought allies, his brothers and sisters still trapped inside Cronus's belly. With the help of Metis, the goddess of wisdom, Zeus gave Cronus a potion, and one by one, the swallowed gods were freed. Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia. Together, they declared war. The Titanomachy, the war of gods and titans, lasted 10 years. The earth cracked, oceans boiled. Lightning, once just weather, became a weapon. And when the storm finally cleared, Zeus stood victorious. Cronus was overthrown. The old world ended. A new world began. But victory is a strange thing. It feeds the soul, but it also feeds the ego. And Zeus would learn that conquering others was far easier than conquering himself. The birth of Olympus. Zeus, now king, divided the cosmos with his brothers. He claimed the sky. Poseidon ruled the sea. Hades, the underworld. But Zeus didn't just want to rule. He wanted worship. He wanted obedience. He wanted permanence. That hunger is familiar. Every CEO, politician, or influencer who builds their empire, they're chasing Olympus. But every mountain has a shadow, and in Zeus's, a storm was already brewing. Act 2. The reign of Zeus. Power, passion, and paranoia. The marriage of heaven and fury. Zeus married Hera, his sister, queen of the gods. Together, they symbolized divine balance, sky and earth united. But behind the clouds of Olympus, thunder was constant. Hera was wise, proud, and jealous. Zeus, charming, powerful, and unfaithful. He fathered countless children, gods, demigods, heroes. Each affair became a war between desire and duty. Psychologically, Zeus represents the human condition, the part of us that wants to love deeply, but also to conquer endlessly. We crave devotion, yet chase novelty. And like Zeus, we destroy peace in the name of passion. In every myth where Zeus transforms into a swan, a bull, a shower of gold, he isn't just seducing mortals. He's showing humanity's addiction to transformation itself. We disguise our true selves just to get what we want. But what happens when the disguise becomes the prison? The burden of power. As the ruler of the gods, Zeus judged mortals and immortals alike. He punished Prometheus for giving fire to humanity. He chained him to a rock, an eagle eating his liver each day. Fire, in myth, means knowledge. And Zeus's punishment shows a truth that still holds today. The powerful often fear enlightenment, because knowledge makes people uncontrollable. Look around today. Governments suppress information, corporations guard secrets, and individuals lie to themselves to maintain an illusion. Zeus's thunder wasn't just a weapon, it was censorship. It was ego-protecting ignorance. And every time we silence truth, we become a little more like the god of lightning. The thunder within in time, Zeus began to fear prophecy, the same way his father did. He learned that one of his own children could overthrow him. And so, the cycle continued. He swallowed Metis, the goddess of wisdom, to prevent her from bearing a son. But wisdom cannot be contained. From his head was born Athena, goddess of strategy and reason. Zeus tried to silence wisdom, and wisdom was born louder than before. That's the paradox of control. The more you try to suppress truth, the stronger it becomes. The storm you fear is the one you create. Act 3. The Fall and the Reflection. The cracks in Olympus began to tremble not from outside, but within. The gods fought among themselves. Mortals questioned their devotion, and Zeus, once untouchable, began to sense decay. He tried to destroy humanity once, sending a flood to wash away corruption. But no flood can drown the flaws of the divine. The gods weren't better than humans. They were mirrors of them. And perhaps that's why Zeus remains timeless. Because in every age, there's an Olympus, a summit where someone believes they're untouchable. And there's always lightning waiting to remind them otherwise. The mirror of the modern mind. In modern psychology, Zeus is the archetype of the ruler. He represents our inner drive to lead, to dominate, to establish order. But he also embodies the danger of the unexamined self, the part of us that mistakes control for purpose and power for peace. Today, Zeus wears different faces. The executive who fears failure, the parent who controls out of love, the influencer who needs validation, the politician who cannot admit wrong. Each carries thunder in their chest, believing that power means worth. But lightning, no matter how bright, always fades. Epilogue. The storm within. Zeus never truly died. He became us. He became the voice that commands, the ego that craves, the heart that fears being forgotten. Every time you choose compassion over domination, every time you listen instead of shouting, you quiet the thunder. The lesson of Zeus isn't to be godlike, it's to understand the God within and to master it. Because the greatest throne is not above the clouds. It's the peace you create when the storm inside you finally clears. If you've stayed until the end of this story, you've walked through storms, myths, and mirrors. And maybe, just maybe, you've found a part of Zeus within yourself and learned how to tame it. So, if you believe stories like this awaken something real, subscribe and join us again. Because next time, we'll descend deeper into the forgotten gods and the truths that never die.